another day, another cooking tutorial. What I have for you guys today is how to make a traditional Jewish bread challah two ways, a round one and a 6 braided one. So a little bit of a background story. You guys know me and background stories, hey. So last year 2022, around Valentine's Day, it was on Valentine's Day, I visited my former high school teacher because she had some orders from me on Valentine's Day, and then I promised to make her some bread. Things got busier, it got hectic, and I never got a chance to make that bread. And then I used to postpone and postpone until she recently asked me around Jan, and I was like, you know what, ma'am, it's busy for now, but let me put a date onto it. I put a date onto it. I made her bread, I delivered it to her. She loved it so much, and we got a chance to get a video. So yeah, this is it. Let me just go to work right now, and if you guys love this, please do comment, share, like, subscribe. I'll catch you guys on our next video. Bye bye.
I'm going to start by measuring 4.5 cups of white flour. I used cake flour in this case, but white bread flour works best, and you can always use all-purpose flour too. And next up, I'm going to add 2 cups of rye flour for a more distinct flavor. You can also use whole wheat flour for this process. Next up is some sugar. We're going to add yeast, and then I'm going to combine these two together. After that, I'll add my salt into the mixture, and then make sure that I create a well so that our wet ingredients are going to go into that well. So I added eggs, and then there's 1 extra egg that I'm going to use. Those were egg yolks that I put in first because I had some leftovers from a cake that I was making. Oil into the mixture, and then next we are going to add some water. So some lukewarm water goes in, and then I started combining all my ingredients and bringing them into the well so that they can combine beautifully. So this is a stiff mixture, and I'm going to just use my hands to dig in there and make sure that everything is fully combined, leaving a little bit of flour, and you guys will see why I'm just leaving a little bit of flour at the bottom so that I can tip this bowl, and then my flour or my surface is already floured by the flour that I already have. Does that make sense? I hope it does. And then we'll start a process called kneading. So kneading is this motion that I'm just doing right here, using the palm of your hands to move your dough back and forth or forward and backwards until it is combined. So this helps you to combine all your ingredients together and create a smoother dough. And the more your dough gets smoother, the more you develop what is called gluten, which are the proteins found in flour, and they help to build the structure of your bread. So bread flour is best for using this because it has more of the gluten, and which means your bread can have more structure. So this is me continuously kneading the dough. As you can see, it's taking shape and it is becoming smoother. So I decided to cut this in half because my hands are so tiny, and working with that big large piece of dough was taking too much time. So the dough starts off being sticky, and then the more you knead it, the more it actually stops sticking, and then it picks up everything on the surface. So if you realize, I was adding a bit more flour. So I was adding flour mainly because I used cake flour, and cake flour is a weak flour, which means it doesn't have a lot of proteins in it, and that means it absorbs a lot of water. So my dough was a bit too sticky, and I added just a little bit extra flour. And also I was lazy to knead because it was going to take a lot of time. So this is my dough after kneading for quite a lot of time. I'm checking how the development of the gluten. My bread is breaking, which means my gluten development is still a bit weak. So that means we still have a long way to go. We need to knead this. But if you're lazy, you can get away with it, but the structure of your bread won't be that amazing. You need the gluten for making your bread. So after this, I'm just going to pour some oil into a bowl, put my mixture in there, and let it rest or bulk ferment for at least an hour. Take it out of an hour, and whoa, look at that go. My mixture has doubled, and once it has doubled, it is ready to start what we call pre-shaping. So I'm just going to knead it a few times, and then we are going to pre-shape the dough according to the number of breads that we need. In this case, I am making 3 types of bread, 2 round ones which are small, and this big piece will be for our 6 braided challah. So I'll start by kneading the smaller ones and then subdivide them into 4 smaller pieces. If you have a scale, it is better to like measure them and make sure that all of them are the same size. So when pre-shaping, you always start with a round shape, and that's what I'm creating. And since we're making challah, I'm going to make this into like some, what do we call them, oblong shapes, or yeah, something like that. And then so I'm just doing a little bit and then putting it on the side to rest, mainly because when you're trying to stretch dough, it can resist, so you have to rest it for a while so that the gluten relaxes, and then when you're trying to stretch it, it actually, like, it's free to move a little bit more. So if you're trying to stretch your dough and then you're seeing that it's shrinking backwards, then you just need to rest it, take another strand. So after this, we're building our round challah, which means we're going to create a weave with 4 strands, so 2 horizontally and 2 vertically, and make sure that you have 1 up and 1 down. As you can see over here, there is 1 overlapping the other on each and every direction. And yeah, let's just pay close attention here. And when starting to braid, the one at the bottom goes on top in whatever direction you start on. If you start clockwise, you maintain it until you create a whole revolution. So 1 at the bottom on top, I'm taking 1 at the bottom on top. I've created a revolution, which means I'm going anti-clockwise now. 1 at the bottom on top, 1 at the bottom on top, 1 at the bottom on top. And then we were anti-clockwise, now we're going clockwise. At the bottom on top, 1 at the bottom on top, 1 at the bottom on top, 1 at the bottom on top. We have created our revolution. Now we're going again anti-clockwise until we create this braid that we have. So the one that's at the bottom always goes on top. So since we have 4, so if you do 4 clockwise, then 4 anti-clockwise, 4 back clockwise, 4 anti-clockwise. I really hope I'm making sense on this one. And then so I'm just going to tuck this in, and this is the bread, and it is ready for a process that we call proofing. Let's get to the 6 braided challah. So again, that big ass chunk of dough, rounds, mold it into rounds. Sorry for cursing over there, just something else. So pre-shape into rounds, and again oblong shapes. And once we have our perfect rounds, we are going to place them all and just make sure that they are pinched, or they are like stuck together at the top. Yeah, I'm pinching them right now. And then for this process, you are going to take 2 of the strands that are at the far sides and then cross them on each other. The one at the top goes into the middle and you replace it with the other one. Again, 2 on the left, 2 on the right, 1 on the top, in the middle, replace it with the one in the opposite direction. See, I'm taking the one on the top inside, replacing with the one in the opposite direction. The one on the top inside, replace with the one in the opposite direction. So I made a mistake here, and then you're going to see, put it back, Amanda, 1 on top, and then replace it with the one on the opposite direction. That's how it goes, and that's how you braid a 6 braided challah. So you can do a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 braided piece of bread, but then I always think the 6 looks nicer after braiding. I love the way the 6 looks, so that's why I always do the 6 braided challah. And this is it at the bottom. I'm just finishing it off and then tucking in whatever the bits and pieces that are left. And yeah, I didn't focus the camera that much, but then you guys did not miss a lot. So these are my 2 pieces of bread, and we're going to do what is called proofing. So proofing is putting the bread in a steamed oven at a very low temperature, 50 degrees, or you can actually do it in a warm place, just so that the bread rises for the second time, takes shape, and then when you're baking it, it will be soft. So this is my bread after proofing for about an hour. I overproofed this bread, and that is why it has dents and then some seeds onto it. Egg wash, will pop it in the oven in a minute, and I'll show you how the bread looks like. So it was a bit overproven, but then it did come out not so bad. This is the final look on our bread. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you later. Bye.